Thanks so much for being with us on this Monday morning. I'm Julie Grant, and this is Court TV Live. I want to take you to Hollywood now. We're continue following that breaking news. The son of famed director Rob Reiner and his wife Michele is now under arrest. It is official. Nick Reiner is being held on $4 million bond. The Reiner family confirming the deaths of Rob and Michele through statements. And now we have confirmed that Nick Reiner has been arrested and is being held on $4 million. He is suspected of the deaths of his parents, of stabbing them to death. This is aerial footage. I'm looking at this as you are. This just coming in to our newsroom. Area footage of the Reiner estate, beautiful home that they shared in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. You can see the lights up around the home. We have our team en route as we're speaking to Los Angeles to provide you with reporting throughout the day on the ground. Rob Reiner, 78 years old, his wife Michele, a producer and videographer, 68 years old, and their son Nick is being held on $4 million bail, arrested in this double homicide. Police say they were stabbed to death in their home and found on Sunday afternoon around 3:30 Pacific time is when the call came in to first responders, finding this beloved Hollywood couple deceased in their home, killed at the hands of someone else. Was it their son? That is the question. He certainly has raised the suspicions of police, and they obviously have enough probable cause to make his arrest. Let's bring in our law enforcement analyst, Sonny Slaughter. Sonny, you've been with us through the hour. We've seen the progression. We were getting word that he was being questioned. Then we were hearing the word custody thrown around. Now it is official, arrested, and bail has been set. The accusation here being that he took the lives of his own mother and father. Sonny, your reaction, please.
Oh, Julie, it's breathtaking that this is now confirmed that he is not in custody. He is currently under arrest, and that the bail amount is $4 million. I want to say how painful this is as a parent and as a person just watching from the outside, but understanding these experiences. I also want to remind the public that oftentimes when we have children, as individuals and those that help, the community help raise, who have troubles, mental health and drug abuse and criminal activity, oftentimes parents can be shamed if they do not react in the way that others want them to. People think that because they are your children, that you should just kind of stay the course. And that may have been what happened, that they were trying to stay the course as parents. But we often talk about in domestic violence situations that we have to retreat as victims to gain safety. But we don't think about that in the same way when we talk about parent and child relationships, where those relationships are unsafe and they are unhealthy. This is a tragedy for the family. This is a tragedy for the friends. This is a reminder for the community and for the public that some relationships are unhealthy. And as a parent, I know personally, sometimes you cannot be the one to save your own child.
Sonny, you said that so well. It's a sad reality. Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, it plagues our country. And there is reporting, as I noted before, I want to note it again, coming from Perez Hilton in his source reporting that Nick Reiner had struggled for many years with substance abuse problems and homelessness as a result of those addiction problems. And as we're talking, Sonny, I have some information that not only has he been arrested, but he has already been lodged in the Los Angeles County Jail. We're looking at the Sheriff's Department's Inmate Information Center, and it appears that at 7 o'clock Pacific time, so this was just a short time ago, it's 10:30 here in the East, that he was lodged. And so they've got a booking number for him already. He's 32 years old. This is a photo of him with his dad that we've been sharing for you. And what I'm seeing on the Sheriff's Department's information sheet is that the arrest technically happened yesterday on the 14th, and that he was booked on the 15th. So it could happen, my guess is that in the wee hours, you know, of the night, the change happened in the booking, because we know it was in the afternoon that the call came in. So he was picked up at some point on Sunday and then lodged this morning, right around 7 o'clock is when I see this information hitting the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Inmate Information Center. They don't have the specific charges, but what we can glean from the facts we know, investigators, you know, are investigating this as a double homicide. We know this is a felony that he's lodged on. We know the LAPD's gang unit is investigating this. Not saying that he's part of a gang, not saying that. I'm just saying that's who was called out to work this case. And we're waiting to get the specifics on the charges, and this is just as bad as it gets. Sonny, also so close to the holidays, this happening. I mean, this is a tragedy any time of year. Nobody wants this to happen, yet also this time of year when we're extra sentimental. You see the holiday lights around the house as well. It's chilling, isn't it, my friend?
It really, really is. It's heartbreaking, because anytime around the holidays, when there's a death, when there's a murder, it is a constant reminder every single year. But I also wanted to go back to what you said about the gang unit. That would make sense. I'm the former co-chair of the National Opioid Caucus under Health and Human Services. And the gang unit, because if he was involved in potential drug use and abuse and the homelessness, that might be the unit that would have the most information about where, if all of this information is true, and I want to be clear about that, where he got his drugs from, what he was involved in, but it doesn't mean that he was necessarily involved in a gang. But it does have the similar threads of the investigative processes for looking, apprehension, potential drug use, abuse, and known associates or anything like that. Because remember, he was connected to a financed family, and if he owed someone money, you know, there's a lot of threads that we'll have to pull. But I do have to commend law enforcement for holding this case close to the vest, for doing what they needed to do it from an investigative standpoint, and for finding him, doing what they needed as far as keeping information quiet, close, and then following a process that has less taint from the public about, you know, whether this is the individual, whether he was questioned properly. All of those things will roll out later, but I do commend them for what they have done in executing the arrest, the seizure, and moving this homicide investigation forward.
Yes, Sonny, yes, they've acted quickly, and thank goodness, because if Nick Reiner did this, if he killed his mom and his dad, then you can never know where he would have gone next or what he would have done next. As you know, if he was on a path of destruction, this could have been deadly for other people. And so, as you said, thank goodness law enforcement acted as quickly as they did, getting to the person they believe is responsible for these killings. Sonny, we thank you for the insights. Again, our team en route there, we're going to have live updates for you throughout the day as soon as they are on the ground. We'll keep you posted as any more information comes in. But Nick Reiner behind bars on $4 million bond. As we head to break, of course, we're sending our good thoughts and prayers to the Reiner family. Rob Reiner, beloved Hollywood director, his wife, Michele, killed on Sunday.